my name is Shannon. I'm 29 years old and I'm 33 weeks pregnant with my first child, a boy. I've done a few other names I love but won't be using videos, but today I thought it would be fun to ask my mom about some names that she loves. These are all of the names that my mom has on her baby list that she has suggested to me, but I will not be using. I thought it would be interesting to get somebody from an older generation's perspective. And honestly, I was expecting the names to be a little bit more old school than they are because my mom has told me that she likes basic names. But I was surprised by how modern and trendy some of these names were. Her list is a really good mix of stylish and classic. Before I forget, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post videos just like this and I talk in detail about my pregnancy. So if you want to see more of that, please subscribe. The first name that I have on this list is a boy's name, and that is the name Caden. This is such a cute name and it was actually on my list for a while, but I just can't get past how much it sounds like okay then. I know that probably doesn't matter to most people, but for me, it was just something that I couldn't get past, so I wouldn't use it. The next name is a girl's name, and it is the name Georgia. Georgia to me sounds like a very old school classic name. I'm sure in a few years, people will start naming their kids that again because that's how the name cycle works. But to me, it almost sounds a little boyish and I prefer my names a little bit more girly, but it's still a classic name. It's just not for me. I have another boy's name here and that is the name Shane. And while I like it, I think it's just a little bit too basic for me. It also makes me think of that guy from Love is Blind whose name is Shane, and I just don't think that's an association I want to have with my baby. The girl's name I have next is Kathleen, and I know that my mom absolutely adores this name because my name is Shannon Kathleen, and while it's pretty together, I don't like Kathleen as a standalone name because I feel like a lot of people would call the child Kathy instead of something like Kate or Katie, which is definitely an option, but I just feel like Kathy is easier for people to jump to. Also, I think it's still in that stage where it kind of still sounds like an older woman. Maybe in like 20 years, it'll sound a little bit younger again. The next boy's name I have is Brooks, and that one is so trendy right now. People love it, but I have two reasons why I wouldn't use it. And one is because it sounds so much like the name Brooke, which to me is a girl's name, and if I'm naming a boy, I want it to be more boyish. I also would not use this name because of the S on the end of it. I just feel like an S indicates possession or multiples, and just the grammar of that just bothers me, so I wouldn't be able to use it. And the same is true for names like Miles and other names that end with S. It would be really cute if you're looking for a water themed name though, like that's cute. I have a girl's name next, and that is the name Anya, and I think that name is adorable. I absolutely would use that, except I'm having a boy. I feel like it's a really unique name, but not so unique that you've never heard of it, but you probably don't know anybody with that name. And I can see it on a little kid or an adult or an old person. I just feel like it matches with anybody really. Ryder is the next boy's name, and I feel like if you're going to use that name, you have to almost live the lifestyle of like a horseback rider or something like that. I personally wouldn't use it because it reminds me of Aragorn in Lord of the Rings when he goes by Strider and is meeting the hobbits in the cafe in the first movie, if you know what I'm talking about. It's a cute name, it's just not the vibe that the little baby in my belly is giving me. The next girl's name I have is the name Marin, and I think that's becoming more popular because of Maren Morris, the country singer. This name reminds me a lot of the name Marina, which I love. I would not use it just because I feel like it doesn't really work for me and my family and what our vibe is, similar to how I just said Strider was not the vibe. I don't think Marin is the vibe for me, but it is a beautiful name, and I don't know, I could change my mind in the future if I have a girl. Next, I have another boy's name, and that is the name Lincoln. This is a very cute name, especially if you're going for like the presidential theme, but I personally wouldn't use it because when I was younger, I worked at a childcare facility and one of the worst kids there was named Lincoln. In addition, my husband knows somebody named Lincoln, and I just don't think he would go for it either just because of the person that he knows with that name. So it's off the table for us. Scarlett is the next girl's name on the list, and I think this name is absolutely beautiful. If the baby that I'm having now was a girl, Scarlett very well could be her name because that was the top of my list. This is a very popular name. It's also a classic name though. I feel like it's been used for years and years and years. So it could go on a person of any age. The next name my mom has on this list is the name Bryce. And I always think of the character from 13 Reasons Why, and I kind of get grossed out by that name. I used to really like that name, and then I watched that show and I was like, ugh. Also, I think there's just something about the BR sound together that just doesn't resonate with me. I used to really love the name Bria and think that that was gonna be the name that I went with when I had a child, and now I think about it and I'm just like, I don't like it as much, and it's just something about those two letters together don't rub me the right way. Next up, I have another girl's name, and that is the name ANNALISE. And I think that is a very, very beautiful, sophisticated name. My only issue with that is I know that I would want to shorten the name because I don't typically like longer names. The only names that I could see myself shortening that name to would be Anna or Lise. And Lise is cute, but it kind of reminds me of like a car lease. So, and I used to work in cars, so I'd automatically think that. It's just, I have a weird thing with names, and clearly I'm not able to use it, unfortunately, even though it's such a beautiful name. I also played soccer with a girl named ANNALISE, and I would have a hard time separating my child from her. So that's another reason I couldn't use it. The final boy's name that I have on this list is the name Zane. And I feel like this would be really cute for like a spazzo kid that has a lot of energy. I could just see it now. Insane Zane. It's very cute. It's super short, so if you have a longer last name, that would be nice to use. This baby, though, is just not giving me the Zane vibes, but maybe the next one. We have reached the final name on my mom's list that I will not be using, and it's a girl's name, and the name is Elizabeth. Elizabeth is just a little bit too worn for me. It's a very beautiful name in its own right, and I like that it has a lot of nicknames off of it, especially the name Liza off of it. I would definitely use Liza on its own, and you could use Liz or Beth or anything like that. But I think Elizabeth is 1, too long, and then 2, just too used. I know at least 10 Elizabeths that I can think of right now. So those are all the names that I have for you. Special shout out to my mom for sending me a full list of names that she loves and that I've decided that I will not use. We have decided the name for our baby. I'm pretty sure it's not the same name as I mentioned in my previous names I love but will not be using video. We've actually changed the name as of 2 days ago. And once he gets here, I'll announce the name. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some ideas if you're looking for baby names, or it was just entertaining for you. Either way, I'm happy you're here. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. If you're interested in knowing more about me and my pregnancy journey, go ahead and subscribe, or you can find me on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. I post video updates about my pregnancy and my life all the time, and I would love to see you over there. Thanks for watching.